For our card number 2 for our class for September 2022, we are going to be making the Cherry Cobbler package. And the stamp set and die set that I brought in for this card is the Grassy Grove bundle. I absolutely love this bundle, and I think the star of the show is the dies for this bundle. And the one that I'm using, and let me just show you the pieces here. This big die here is absolutely stunning, and we're going to use that, and we're also going to use these 2 dies here, which are already cut out and in your package. So inside your Cherry Cobbler package, you're going to have a piece of basic black that's been cut using that beautiful foliage. We've got a little thing of champagne rhinestones here, and a couple of little a mama deer and a baby deer. So we're going to do some brushing, some dry brushing with our Stampin' blending brushes, and we're going to bring in some colors. So we've got our larger piece of basic white 4x5 1/4, and then a smaller piece for the inside of your card. So we're going to do our coloring on here. So we're going to start off with So Saffron, then we're going to move to Pumpkin Pie and Cherry Cobbler. So let's start off here with our So Saffron. I like to use a clean block, press into the ink pad to get a little pool of ink, and then I'm just going to pick that up using my brush. The key to this technique is to grab, to touch your grid paper first, just to get that excess ink off. And then I'm just going to gently come around in here in a circular fashion in the center of my card front, and just make a nice light So Saffron circle in the middle. And then I'm just going to brush off this color, call this dry cleaning, on the corner of my grid paper here. And then I'm going to bring in some Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab a clean block, press that in, and pick up a little bit of the Pumpkin Pie ink. And we're going to touch it on the grid paper, and then I'm just going to come to the outside perimeter of that circle and just add a little bit of the darker orange Pumpkin Pie to the edges here. There we go. And again, I'm going to brush that off to try and clean off the brush. Then I'm going to bring in Cherry Cobbler. Now for Cherry Cobbler, I'm going to use a totally different brush that I use for my reds. I like to designate my brushes to different color families. So I have one for reds. So I would use this brush for Real Red, Cherry Cobbler, that type of thing. So I'm just going to do the same thing, pick up a little bit of that Cherry Cobbler, touch it on my grid paper, and then I'm going to start and go around the edges of this piece of basic white. I just go all around, and I'm focusing on the edges first, and then I'm just, oops, I did touch the center of my card, but hopefully we'll cover that up with the foliage. We won't worry about it. So we're just going to go around the edges and get a nice look like this. And don't worry if it looks a little bit messy like mine, because you're going to cover it up with the basic black foliage like this, and then it does look like we've got a beautiful sunset going on. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this down first. So I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm just going to come in here, pull off my dried bits, and get this one going. Nope, that one's done. Let's grab another one. Okay, so we're just going to add the glue to the edges here, and a few dabs on the thicker parts. You don't need to stress about putting multi-purpose glue everywhere, because it is such a wonderful sticky glue that it's going to hold. So there we go. We've got our foliage done. We're going to put this on here. And this is slightly smaller, so we want to make sure we're getting that nice even border all the way around. Okay, so this is the card front. So we can go ahead, while we've got the glue out, we can go ahead and glue this onto our card front. Super easy card, comes together super quick. And we're going to put this onto our Cherry Cobbler card base. Then I'm going to stamp from the Grassy Grove stamp set. I want to make a thank you card. So I'm going to stamp thank you in black memento. I'm going to put that right here in the sky, just like that. And then we're going to bring in our little deer, and we're going to put some glue on the back. We're going to add those to the card. So let's see, a little glue on here. and a little glue on the, let's put the mama deer down first. So I'm going to put the mama deer right here, and her body covered up my little boo-boo, so that worked out really, really well. And then the baby deer will be right here looking up at the mom. Isn't that adorable? This is such a beautiful little stamp set and die set. So you can use the dies this way, or you could use the stamps. Lots of different options for the stamps as well. So there is the card, basically finished, so super quick. And we're going to add a little bit of our champagne rhinestones up here. I just have 3 of them just to bling this up a little bit. And then our card is done. Except for the inside, we stamp a greeting on the inside. And there we have it. Beautiful sunset. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. This was our number 2 card for our September 2022 card club.